Now uploading new users. The administrators are excited to welcome you to a new experience. Entering World Replica. World Replica is a die RPG actual play produced by BaddieBards. Enter a realm where the extraordinary becomes reality. Are you ready? Before we log in, please listen to these terms of service. Content warnings are as follows: unreality, parental abuse, death, grief, loss of autonomy, zombies, parental loss of a child, and gun usage. Please be safe. Stand by for a system announcement.
This show is proudly recorded on Zencastr. When we first started recording our podcast, we had a lot of options. We needed a platform that could record and generate separate tracks and videos with a full suite of professional tools at our disposal. Zencastr does everything for us, and it'll do more for you. Go to zencastr.com/pricing and use our code BaddieBards, and you'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. I want you to have the same easy experiences I do for all my podcasting and content needs. And it's time to share your story.
Now logging on.
Hello, you beautiful people. I am so happy that you came back to enjoy this emotional game today. I am Queon. I will be your administrator and dungeon master for today. But I'm joined by some pretty amazing players, and I would love to get some introductions from them real quick. So, who do I want to get first today? Hey, Bluu. You're up.
Hey. Hi, I'm Bluu. My pronouns are they, them. I'm going to be playing Altair, or currently better known as Hex. Yes, in all caps. Mostly they, them pronouns, but we dabble in all of them. I'll be playing the Fool, a cute little jester. So, yeah, that's me. Oh, by the time this airs, season 3 of Echo will be completely out. No, sorry, season 2 of Echo will be completely out, so you should watch that shit. And so will more 2E People's Descent. And maybe we'll still be airing our Avatar campaign, where Mac is the GMO. So, it's me.
Listen, one of the things I am super excited about is watching this Avatar campaign. So I'm just sitting back, twiddling my thumbs, waiting for the nonsense to be a heckler in the comments as well.
Angriest nigga in that campaign.
That is so dope. With that, let's go ahead and swing it on over to Mac.
Greetings and salutations. I am Mac Epiphany, he, him pronouns. I am playing Atticus/Echo, also he, him pronouns. And yeah, that their Avatar campaign is starting not this coming Tuesday, but the following Tuesday. So yeah, I'm really excited too. It's gonna be a good time.
You know, seeing that we're recording this in the past, can we get physical dates on that?
It started
Where can
on November 5th on my Twitch channel, or my wife's Twitch channel, which has a name. and that name is Epiphany Game 616.
Yeah. Oh my god. Mac, I love messing with you so much. This is phenomenal. But yeah, y'all go look at that, go watch. It's going to be amazing. I already know it because Mac is an amazing player and DM. And he's the one normalizing hating your DM right now, so it's great. Aetherius, you're up next, boo.
Hi, yes, Aetherius Bordeaux, Vampire Himbo on most platforms. You can find me at my Twitch at Vampire_Himbo. I am a AP actor, narrative focused content creator. By the time that this is out, this will have already come out. My first audio drama, Saints Curiosities, is out with the Tabletop Tale Spinners Network. On that, I play a conspiracy theorist, and this is in the 90s, and so this is like Mothman and not, QAnon and other like insane nonsense. It's like when it was fun, more X-Files than anything else. And that is really, really fun. In that, I am doing this kind of like analog horror storyline presently that involves this haunted VHS that has been really, really interesting to see play out. So you can check that out, and that's on the Tabletop Tale Spinners Network. And I cannot plug any more stuff. I feel like I never know how much to plug, so I'm just gonna. One last thing. One last thing, because I always forget this, but it's very important. I am a cast member over at Roll D5. Check out Roll D5 Indie TTRP James, also Crit Award nominated. So check them out. And that's it. Thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful. Make sure y'all check out Aetherius and all of the things that he has going on. Phenomenal person, phenomenal creator, and I'm just very, very blessed to have them at my table. Last but certainly not least, Melvyn. Hi.
Hi, I am Melvyn, pronouns they, them. I am cast as Seeker / Vestion currently. You can find me on socials at Cosmic Melvyn. That's both with Y's, no I's. And you can find me on Instagram, and at this point in time, likely you'll find me on Twitch. And my Instagram will have all the updates on all the new projects I'm working on and conventions you'll find me at for the rest of the year.
Ooh, I really hope that we get to go to a couple of conventions together and have fun and actually get to meet in person. That would be amazing. But yeah, so again, I'm Queon. I go by Brother Queon across all of the internets. I am a TTRPG mercenary for hire, and I'm glad I got to hire these people here to be a part of this.
Please log in.
As we left off, our group of friends / frenemies found themselves back inside the Black Lagoon Tavern, owned by Auntie Tamise. And as everyone was trying to figure out their new station and new situation while being stuck within Ouroboros, outside of the tavern, in the streets of this city, the city of Solion, there were people, things. It was as if a shadow had crept up to certain people, and if a virus itself had crept into their hearts. And they were all staring at our party within the tavern. What are you guys going to do about this as these people continue to move towards the tavern?
So, other than these infected folks, are there other people inside or outside of the tavern?
Inside of the tavern, yes, there's Auntie Tamise, and there are several other patrons who are not looking at you like you are the next slab of meat.
Is it possible to detect for artillery at this point? See if anybody out there has any weapons we should be worried about?
Yeah, go for it. For our viewers, give us a little rundown of what Detect Artillery will do for you.
So Detect Artillery, my move that allows me to tell basically if anyone within a short range has any sort of weapons or anything like, guns or any sort of forged weapons, basically.
I would say there's about maybe 16 people that are starting to converge onto Black Lagoon Tavern. And in the variety of weapons, you can see that majority of them are blades forged in iron, but there are two that do have weaponry that might look like a gun.
So you said that niggas are starting to converge on the Black Lagoon.
Yeah.
What are like the people inside the Black Lagoon? Like, what's the vibe inside?
Auntie Tamise has moved towards the door and is kind of like the same way that you're looking out, she's looking out as well. She is kind of battening down the hatches just in case anything crazy were to happen. A couple of the other people, they're like looking on and just like trying to pay attention to what's happening outside. There's just one person who is just casually sipping their tea.
Who is this one person that's just chilling?
That's a person of interest to me.
Yeah, okay. Who is that?
So, this person, their back is sort of towards you, so you can't get a good vision of their face from where you are in the tavern. But from what you do see, they're kind of wearing a lavender-colored suit with like a little like extravagance like to the tie, couple rings here and there, and just enjoying their tea.
Yeah, I like somebody that knows how to dress, you know what I'm saying?
Does this look like a player, or does this look like an NPC that like I would recognize being like a frequent patron of the Black Lagoon?
This does not look like an NPC. This is a frequent patron, though.
Oh, would Hex
This is
like
somebody you would have seen.
okay, but probably never spoken to.
Should we try to
I
maybe? Oh, go ahead.
Right.
Brooke,
No, what were
sorry.
you gonna say?
I was gonna say, should we try to maybe, I don't know, like talk to these people outside, like understand what's going on, or are we just assuming that they are not in a talking mode? Are we?
Hex
Are we
like
above
looks
the
like
table or
clocks
below
empty
the-
to me.
To Vestion, are you asking this in game, or are you asking this at the table?
I guess in game. I'm
As
asking
you ask
everyone.
this question, in the back of your neck, it feels like a hot iron has been placed at your spine, and you hear a whisper. They are not here to talk.
Okay,
Shout out to
noted.
God.
They are definitely not here to talk. So I think I want to help Auntie to me start hunkering down, maybe board up some windows and stuff. I don't know.
As there's things that I think Kai is learning about Wraith, which is Joshua's character. He's finding out that Joshua has like a series of different macros and different things that he doesn't understand about like inhabiting this character. And I'm gonna say that there's something about the things outside that triggers some kind of macro that Joshua has, where the one gun that I have, which is just like self-assembling, it's like the self-assembling base range weapon that I have, automatically with them this close, it kind of just self-materializes without me pressing a button or anything. So I just find the gun kind of like in my hand off of the settings that he had. And so I'm checking this out while the others are looking at the guy with the lavender suit. I'm like looking at this new shiny weapon that I'm playing with for the first time.
In your ear, and also in like your field of view, the little icon that is Kira when she is not materialized kind of glows a little, and you hear Farrago detected, Farrago detected. And with your sights, you can see like within each one of these that are coming towards you, there's like a little twinkle, like a shine inside of them.
Yes. Also, yes to Chibi, Kira, 100%. That's like immediate canon that it is. In the field of view, when the camera goes to first person, we see
It's just like right here, off to the side.
And also I know that like the Neo character archetype is supposed to have like a base AI even if you don't have a pet, but I'm just gonna make that Kira. It just makes
Yeah, Kira was going to be the AI, and she just doubles as the pet and the AI. It's fun this way.
Yeah, she's talented. She's a pet.
Multifaceted queen, okay?
But yeah, I'm gonna say that the Wraith is acquainting himself with this weapon, and the way that it comes out, because I think he is picking up kind of like sliding into the character of somebody else. There's something weird about like feeling that you're picking up parts of that person, and like there's kind of echoes of Joshua that he's feeling, and so the instinctual way the gun pops out, he's a little taken aback by how comfortable it feels and how easy it is when he like looks down the sights.
Gotcha. As you are getting acquainted with this, is this more of a rifle, or are we looking at like a pea shooter?
This is, I'm gonna say, a rifle.
Okay.
It comes out in this little orb, and again, I think whenever the anything that has to do with like the way that Wraith interacts with like hacking the world, we get that like that visual glitch in the game where it kind of like look, you can see that it looks like just any like bug in a game when the frame goes crazy for a little bit, it kind of like goes all out in like the texture. It does that for like a hot little second.
So as your weapon glitches into frame and comes material, and it feels like second nature. This is something, even if you hadn't held a gun in real life, you are a sharpshooter here. And you know that from this point, you could probably take out one or two of them from here. Echo, what are you doing right now?
Does Atticus understand anything about his build and how his powers work?
You tell me.
I don't think he does.
I don't think so either.
You better start button mashing.
We have one who is focusing on this person in this suit, another one who is battening down the hatches with Auntie Tamise, someone who is trying to figure out what am I even good for in this situation, and someone who has also found out that I'm a pretty good shot here. What you got?
Well, it's more of a question than an action.
Okay.
Because I'm thinking about SAO and like the pull down menu where like you can see what your skills are and how they work.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I feel like that's what's happening right now as I'm exploring what my skills are.
That is perfectly fine.
I love that it took this much for Atticus to finally like look at the move list.
How do I play this game?
Like, what am I doing? So yes, as you are combing through your user manual, so to speak, at the very bottom above where it says log out, which has now been grayed out, you see dictator.
Oh yeah.
And you click it, open it up. It gives you like a very basic synopsis of what the class is and what you can do. There are portions of this document that look like they are redacted though.
Interesting. You know, I'm used to looking through contracts, so my eyes are just.
As you are looking through the contract, the creatures, I will call them for now, outside begin to swarm onto the building. They're at the window, some of them banging on the glass, and it does not look like the glass will last for much longer. Auntie Tamise has guarded the door as best as she could with Vestion's help, but she is looking at you all and everybody else in here. Next round's on the house if y'all can keep us alive.
Hex pulls out their pistols, spins them in their hands, fucking clicks them, and they're like, I want lifelong free drinks to fucking defend this place. Actually, I want free rent. That's what Hex says. And they immediately start taking shots at the fucking window.
All right, we'll talk about it. What were you about to do before we hop into initiative, Aetherius?
I just have a question. I want to like make sure I have the conceptualizing these things right. So these are like former players that
You don't know.
We have not established what are the consequences if you die in the game yet, right? Like we as a group,
Not yet.
Is anybody okay? I think after like looking down the scope and having the fucking center right between the eyes, a red dot on one of these things, Wraith is gonna lower the gun and look back to the group. I think we gotta think real hard before we kill these things. I just like got an instinct out of playing the game, almost just shot one, but these could be real people. What if this is something happening to like a player character? We could be like actually you'd be murdering somebody.
Hex does a sort of side to side weighing of the idea, and they're like, they scratch their head like with their gun, and they're like, well, I hear you and I agree, but I don't plan on dying in the game. And
Yeah, Echo is absolutely like, if it's us or them, then they gotta go.
I'm sorry.
No,
Yeah,
I think
sorry.
that
Honestly,
lands.
not sorry.
Beautiful. And with that, with Hex letting off of that first shot, can you do me a favor? Roll to hit.
First combat roll of
Yes.
Yay! I think Hex shoots with Trick this time, and Trick kind of has these really odd looking like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure reference, but one of those niggas have like an ability where their bullets are like they have like little legs and they talk and shit. I feel like from under Hex's hat, the little bullets like come out in like a little line and they just like go along their arm and their hand, load themselves in the chamber. They fucking ready it and then they shoot it. And when they shoot it, it is this like, it's almost like a very cartoonish way where it's like stops in front of the person's face and they like kind of like squint their eyes as if they're about to get hit, and they open it like I didn't get hit, and then it hits them anyway, sort of like a gotcha moment. And so I roll dex with my
you do roll dex.
So I roll 3d6 then. Okay.
So for those listening and who do not know about die is a d6 system. And to use your attacks or anything, it is based off of your ability scores, and that equals how many dice you get to roll. So give us a d6 roll, please.
So on my hex die, I rolled a 4, which is
okay.
My special thingamabob, and I rolled a 2 and a 5.
Okay. So with your special, as a fool, what do you get for this one for you?
So I get to mark circles on my die, and when I roll the circle, I get to describe like a fluke of luck that benefits me. So I like to think that first bullet went off and they tried to immediately shoot a second one, but like the chamber got jammed and they kind of did like, what the fuck? Like what is going on with my gun? And then it shoots, and then when it shoots, it is this fucking massive burst of. Normally it would be like fireworks because that's their thing, but I think they use a little bit too much gunpowder in this one, and it's just like a fucking flash bang almost in front of like the front couple of few people.
Beautiful. So as you send this shot out and it explodes into a flashbang, you take out one of our fallen, and you also catch another one in the bang, and you also take that one out as well. So you have taken out 2 fallen. The first one, the shadows that are like gripping onto them and ripping into their skin dissipate. And before you stands another person who used to log into Ouroboros Online. This person looks at you, their eyes go lifeless, and their body dissipates into pixels. And left where they were once standing, just a small coin.
I wouldn't be close enough to snatch those coins up, would I?
You would not.
Okay.
You can break through the window though.
I just want to throw out there that I could really, really use those coins, and that they are like a class mechanic thing. So if you feel so inclined, like if you're just in the neighborhood, if you're just like in that general vicinity, like
seeing like them return to normal players for a second and then like the light leave their eyes, I think that does kind of make Hex falter a bit. But then the thought that immediately comes to them, which I've used like the idea that like Hex and Altair are the same person but different sides of the same coin, and I feel like in that moment it is Altair who is like, oh fuck, like I think I just killed somebody, and I think it is Hex who fucking sinks their claws and they're like, it's you or them, and that strengthens their resolve in this. So I think they would shove Auntie Timmy's out the way and be like, I think you all should get to safety, or like, get the fuck out of here, and they will try to guard the door.
Are you sure everything's gonna be okay? You got it, babe?
Yeah, I think so. Are you okay? Do you feel different? The door's like banging and they're like holding on to it. Are you okay? Do any of you feel odd or different?
I'm fine, baby. And as you are saying this, she's like, all right, I'm gonna take this opportunity and head on down. She grabs her cane and is just like, everybody down and takes everybody into your apartment, basically.
Don't touch my Yellow.
I'll do my best.
Thank you.
And to your best knowledge, Auntie Tamise is fine. Everybody else who was in this tavern with you all is fine. And even the person who he went down and with everybody else as well, yes.
Honestly, Hex would call back like a pip named Slickback. You could come help us actually if you'd like.
And as they say nothing and continue sipping their tea as they go down the steps. With that, is that the end of your turn? Beautiful. So for everyone else who is a part of this initiative, can you do me a favor and roll a d6 very quickly?
3.
4.
Lost a couple d6s, but I got a 4.
All right, you also got a 4. Okay. Because Wraith had their action ready, they're going to be going before Vestion. I also have to roll a dice real quick. That's not good for y'all. Wraith, what are you doing?
Okay, so there are 2 coins out there, right?
Yes, there are. And there are still 10 fallen coming towards the door.
I want to do some anime shit if that.
I love anime shit.
If that's not allowed. Well, first, I think again, there's something about being this close to whatever these beings are, the fallen are, that is activating things that are automatically running in Joshua's character. Wraith has this compulsion to get these coins, like immediately, I think, from seeing that they were inside the people. That automatically made them like maybe they had a little bit bigger of a target after that, and he didn't fully understand why. But I think that what happens is he compulsively feels himself like running to get those coins, and so I'm going to use his movement to get to the coin. And then is it an action for me to use the gold, or do I get to just do that automatically?
That's a freebie thing.
Okay, perfect. I think for right now it is in the back of his neck. And so after he picks up the gold, and again, all of this is like muscle memory. There's like a fluidity to this that makes him feel a little bit like a passenger inside this character, because it's not like he isn't doing it, but he is doing this for reasons that I don't think his mind or his consciousness understands. So he runs over, grabs the fair gold, and he puts it in the slot in the back of his neck, and the singular bead that's on the dread that has all of the ornate decorations starts to glow, and then we see that glitching effect again, and he's gonna call Kira.
Kira comes out, manifests in like this same purple light that your bead does. Metallic fangs bared.
Yeah, I think that like the connection between Wraith and Kira, like Kira would know what was up coming out. Like I don't think Kira would need the directive to like go for the throat. I think that Kira would just kind of instinctively know. But like the other thing that I want to have happen, and let me know, Queon, you let me know if I can do this.
Yeah.
Because I'm just delighted by this idea.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say that like after putting in the fair gold for the first time and experiencing that in the POV, like the UI that Kai has as he looks through like Ray's vision, there is a bunch of like different symbols that he doesn't like recognize or understand that are in this like red font that he has not seen in the UI or in place of any other place of the game. And there's a little typing that says program engaged : there's a ... it does that little DOS thing, and then it says execute key of Twilight program. And there,
Okay.
Kai's metallic or Wraith's metallic arm, he feels it start to jerk a little bit. It is like a little bit out of his control, and it goes straight. The muscles contract.
Mhm.
And out from seemingly the center of his wrist, out of the metallic arm, come a bunch of geometric shapes that come out into this almost like bracelet, if you will, that goes around.
I wonder where that comes from. Another thing happens as well. In your eyesight, within the immediate vicinity, you can see the program. You can see the walls of this place all have the hatch marks of this is technology. The people in front of you, they still have like a piece of them that is human, seems to have gone dormant, and they are 90% programmed. And that last 10% that you see is the coin that you just used on yourself.
Wow. I think that like there's part of this that would make like the actions to come, not only just in this combat and on this day, easier to come, I think, in engaging with these type of creatures, but seeing that like when somebody is in this state, that spark of who they were, they're essentially kind of already gone to an extent, makes having to navigate like the morals surrounding like killing these people a lot easier. And it is like that same kind of muscle memory that I want to try to hack one of these. I think
Ooh.
it's something that the bracelet itself engages in when it comes out. I want to hack one of the remaining 10 fallen to fight the other remaining 10.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and roll your dice, babes.
Can I have Kira assist me in that?
Did you choose her to be distracting, or did you choose her to be a tracker or alert?
Distracting, I think.
Yep, that works.
Okay.
So that'll just, for this one, we'll just say it'll add an additional D6 for you. Go for it.
So that is like 5d6.
Yeah.
Okay, so that so far is 2 4s.
Mm-hmm.
So that is 3 successes? 3 or 4? I can't math.
It sounded like it was 4, which is exactly what you need. You are going against your will, and the program of WhisperWraith is taking over Kai. What it looks like is from your arm, it trickles down, and like electricity is running up towards the next creature, and it goes up into this one creature's body, and the entirety of it is engulfed with like these purple electrical tendrils, and he is under your control. And where you see Kira's icon, under that, Joseph added to the party.
Oof. Giving them a name, you gotta make them all like human and real. I mean, rip Joseph. I'm sorry, Joseph is gone. So I'm sorry to this fictional man. Okay. Do I have any actions left?
You can command him to do something as a free action, but it won't happen until his turn.
What kind of character is Joseph? Do I know?
Joseph is frenzied. Joseph has basic stats across the board, but because he is frenzied, he has advantage on hand-to-hand attacks.
We see Wraith snap, and the character for Joseph T-pose for half a second before it goes back. And then I wanted to start like viciously attacking the nearest. If it can take like more than one down, what I was thinking is like if it had like an explosive or something on it, I would have him like pull the pin on a grenade.
Nah, because of the shadows that are raking through his system, he does not have the ability to use any weapons. However, because you now are closer to them, you can see that their hands have shifted into like a metallic kind of corrosive metal, and that is what he will be using to fight.
Okay. Yeah, I have him attack the other guy, and then that is my turn.
Beautiful. He will resolve that after Vestion.
So,
What you doing, sweets?
all right. So Vestion's thinking that at this point, so they have a little bit of a magical girl idea. I don't know if we can do this, but we'll see.
This person just gave me full on anime jutsu.
That's fair. Okay. So I want to use Gear Blast. These people I want to move up a little closer so I can Gear Blast. But how I want that to work is Vestion staying there, and he calls out to Skeeter, and all of a sudden, Skeeter pops up, little dome feet roll on up to him. And then all of a sudden, Skeeter kind of just floats up, and then the dome opens up and then comes over towards Vestion's arm, and Vestion kind of gets wrapped around the arms, and then all of a sudden it's like a big blaster on Vestion's arm instead of being just Skeeter. And he's like, all right, Skeeter, let's get our moves going.
And as you do that, you just hear the of Skeeter's approval. Are you staying within the tavern, or are you going outside into the fray?
All right, so then I will actually, so Vestion's going to go ahead and meet up with Kai outside so we can work together and kind of defeating the Fallen here. So we're gonna go outside and handle that.
Beautiful. Go ahead and roll me that beautiful Gear Blast, Babs.
I've got what
for yours, it should be based off of your wisdom, so it should be 4.
Oh, my wisdom.
Because even if it is a gun, it is still one of your scriptures. And scriptures, for those listening, are a Godbinder's spells.
So I've got 6, 5, 3, and 2.
Oh, you got a 6.
Yeah.
Hold on. That means we just have another special. I just need to see what that looks like for you very quickly. Oh, this is fun. This is very fun. So as you line up your sights and let out this radiating blast from your skeeter gun,
yes,
from this radiating blast of heat that comes out, there is an all-encompassing godly fury. This blast hits one of the fallen center mast. It continues to go through, and it catches 2 more in its path. And your god, the goddess of the forge, Lila, you look over your shoulder towards your arm that has been encompassed by Skeeter, and she is just ever so slightly lifting it and adding her energy towards this blast. This is what happens because you rolled a 6 on your Gear Blast. So this is your special. So because of this, you have taken out 3 of these fallen. They all dissipate into these pixels and this data, and the last thing remaining from them are 3 coins. Y'all are mowing through these people, and I love it. So let me go ahead and just take those off the map. The creature who is under the control of Wraith and has given their free will over to the system and over to Kira and over to Kai. He begins to run towards his fallen brother and begins to slash away, very frenzied and angry and hurriedly, ripping through him, ripping through his data, ripping through his core, trying to reach for that remaining humanity. And as he is reaching and ripping and tearing into this person, their body dissipates. And they are nothing but pixels in the wind and a coin on the ground.
Can I have the fallen that's under my thrall pick up the fair gold coins that are left and bring them to me? Am I allowed to like have him do extra things?
You sure can have him pick that up.
So I have him like grab those and then run those to me.
So as he goes to pick up this one fair coin, he grabs it, and in his grasp, you can feel him fighting against your control. But at the same time, Kira sees and notices this as well and adds a quick jolt of electricity towards this fallen, and it falls back under your control and brings you the coins.
Okay, how many is that? I want to keep track of this.
He's bringing you 2.
So I have 3 in total?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Also,
now,
rip these people. This is sad. I want to be on record. It's like loss of human life and all that.
So with that, Echo, you're up, babe.
So I think up until this point, Echo has just been scanning, and like gathering an understanding of his abilities, and now he's like, all right, bet. And so he's gonna step up to the window and looking out, and he's gonna try to use his voice.
Okay.
The closest fallen to the building.
The closest one to the building?
Yeah.
Okay.
The closest one that's not being controlled, at least.
All right, cool. So there is one that is still like coming towards the door. So he is the first one that you see.
Yeah, that's the one then.
Lovely. I'm scared.
So, I have an artist progress, which allows me to pick a second emotional wheel.
Uh-huh.
And it says that I can combine them to make more complicated effects.
Mm-hmm.
And the lovely wheel says that I can combine admiration and terror to make submission.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
And so, with that in mind, he steps forward and he speaks to this one that is approaching the building and says, "Protect our base." And his voice echoes and reverberates as he speaks this command.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your D4.
Copy that. A 4.
Oh. Okay. Your voice booms and radiates.
Protect our base.
And underneath it, there sounds to be a chittering, a cackling of bone. And each of you, Vestion, Hex, and also Wraith, you feel an immediate surge of power being lost from you. You feel like as you are getting ready to make your next move, that your thoughts falter, and the only thing that comes to your mind is protect Echo.
I thought my powers couldn't work on them.
This is the thought that happens to them. This does not take away their free will, though.
Gotcha.
However, that feeling washes away, and as you look back towards Echo, you see that something in him has shifted. The one fallen that was heading towards the door stops in his tracks, falls to his knees, and before he can take the action of actually protecting the base, he dissipates. And nothing is left for him except a coin. That is the price of being a dictator. Your power can be great, but at a certain point, you break the mind.
Okay. So this was absolutely a test run for Echo. Like, I've seen how this power works in theory. Let me see if I can make it work. And he's like, okay, so I'm gonna have to dial it back. He's calculating in his head, like, okay, that was a little too much. Next time, reel it back a little bit.
Fair. Next time, this was me playing a little pulling strings and things. Next time when you use your voice, you will roll your charisma pool and your D4.
Okay.
You can use your charisma pool, how many successes you get, to augment your D4. So let's say you roll 2 D6s, you can lower it to a level 2, or you can bump it up.
Okay.
So it gives you more control. But this first time, I wanted a little havoc, let's say.
I will take that.
So as you have obliterated this one's mind, and all of your party have a sense of fear and also admiration of seeing you take charge. Hex for you, for Alt, for a split second, you see the man you fell in love with. And with that, we have 5 of the fallen are left. And they begin to move towards each of you. Well, actually, there's only 2 of you outside. The 5 of them swarm on top of you. 2 of them will make attacks on to Vestion, and 2 will make attacks on to Wraith. 1 will continue to try and break down the door.
We got oh my god, Melvyn, can we have Vestion and Wraith like stand back to back for this?
Yes, I love that. Yes.
Vestion, what is your defense?
Skeeter has a dual mode, right? So I can have him as a blaster, but he also extends out into a shield.
Okay. That's fine. So Skeeter has a defense of what? Of 1? Or is it 2?
What's the difference between guard and defense?
Your defense takes away how many successes I have. So if you have multiple, you have more than 1 defense, that takes away like 1 of my successes. So I can outright miss. Your guard is basically your HP before I actually hit you.
Got it. Okay.
So you have 2 levels in your god right now. So you can either have a +1 to your strength, a +1 to your con, a defense of 1 that it can fight on its own, or that it is invulnerable to specific elements.
I think I'm gonna do the defense one. I'm gonna
Beautiful.
add that.
So as one of these begin to start clawing at you, Skeeter sort of moves your arm into place to block, and just blocks one of the claws and pushes him back. I only had 1 success. So now, WhisperWraith, I know for a fact you have 0 defense.
Mm-hmm.
What I will suggest is that us using Kira in this situation will give us a 1 to your defense, okay?
I do want to say too that after the last episode, WhisperWraith did upgrade, and I do have a force field. And the health of that force field is my intelligence score. And so I have the guard of 2 and then the force field of 4.
Ooh, okay. Which is absolutely great. So as this creature goes in to make a disgusting slash, it looks like its claws have become dripped in oil and corrosive ichor, and as it takes a slash at you, it cannot reach your form because of this force field. However, your force field will lose 2 charges to it. He rolled a 5 and a 6. So that was going to be a very heavy hit if it had hit.
That's why I got the force field.
But we are still remaining with these 5, and we are at the top of initiative. So, Hex, still holding down the fort?
I think, I definitely was still holding down the fort. Echo used his power, and I like to think that in a very like cartoonish Tom and Jerry fashion, little bullets, little Cupid bullets kind of floated over their head just for a second, and then they were like, "Get the fuck out of here!" And they like, and like seeing Vestion and Wraith go out there, they're like, "All right, we're just gonna fucking do this." So they kick the door open with one leg, step out as if they're like about to, like in a Western showdown, fucking cock their guns. And I think this time they will actually kind of like rummage under their like red cowboy hat and pull out like a rubber chicken, toss it. They'll like rummage under it again, pull out like a pick, toss that shit, because now I'm looking for it. And they'll rummage under it again, and they'll pull out like 4 throwing knives, like little daggers. And they will try to hit the one that is closest to Vestion.
Oh my goodness. So as you burst out of the Black Lagoon Tavern, the one fallen who was banging and clawing at the door, you have kicked him behind the door, so he is currently on the ground.
Love it.
That is the bonus I will give you for making me cackle. And as you pull out these daggers and you throw them towards the one that's at Vestion, please, little razzle dazzle, roll me some bones.
Let's see what's to it. Ooh, I rolled a 6 on my class die and 2 3s.
So you throw your first 2 and they hit the one that is next to Vestion. And then as the other 2 fly past it, they hit the one who is right next to Kai, the one who Kai had to block with the force field, square in the chest. And they dissipate into pixels.
I think as they dissipate into pixels, the dagger had like a little timer on it, and it like rapidly counted down, and like a flurry of like confetti also burst as they burst into pixels.
Not a timed release confetti bomb.
You know, I gotta be prepared for anything.
Fair enough.
Vex gives a kind of like fuck yeah, and they like try to like run like a little closer to Vestion, and Wraith kind of join that 3 with their back against them, very Charlie's Angel style. They're like, all right, who's next?
Yes. We gotta do that like slow motion but high frame rate thing where it like circles, you know. Mm-hmm. We just gotta wait for Echo to get out here.
If Echo gets another turn.
Okay. Wraith, you're up.
I think that like Wraith definitely, after experiencing the like kind of fallout of the dictatorship of Atticus and Echo, would definitely, I think, like cast a look at that, because are we able to associate that impulse that we felt from Echo? Does it feel like those emotions came from him?
Yes, it felt like there was just a wave emanating from him.
Okay. So I think Wraith definitely would have felt that, kind of looked confused, like experiencing that for the first time. And then immediately would have looked to Hex to both see if Hex felt it, just to see if it was something that was like a shared experience, or not having like a full understanding of what the fuck that like just happened. But then also
see a Cupid bullet on their shoulder whispering in their ear. There's a devil on the other one, and they like flick the Cupid one away, like look around like
that it is just, there's this nonverbal look of like clocked that, and then there is a look over to Vestion. Sorry, there's like a lot of nonverbal like black communication in this one turn. There's this look to Vestion that is just like
you peeped that.
Yeah. And fascinating. Okay. So I think that like seeing that there is a lot to Joshua's character that Kai that wasn't aware of. There is a little bit of this power fantasy moment. I think some of the like kind of the almost joy that Seeker has had in embracing Vestion's powers, like seeing that kind of like moment of realization, and then like kind of, I think that like there's a moment of adjustment here, this new reality, and I think to some extent, like how violent it's gonna be, the reality of like the survival of this and what's on the line. I think like really like hits him, and in this moment of feeling like this new surge of power, I would like to sync with Kira and have Kira go after and try to like pounce on the target for this. And so I want to use Kira to use my class die, if that's okay.
Smart. I like that. Very, very smart.
Oh, that's a 6, a 5, and then a 4 on the class die.
Okay. Ooh, so it is a 6. Okay, cool. So we do get an explode. All right. You call out to Kira and have her pounce and tear into one of the fallen. She goes into hyperdrive and pounces on the one that is also behind the door on the ground and takes him out with it.
I feel like Kira should have like an auto collect, like that thing in like RPGs where you get close enough and it kind of like vacuums.
She'll collect the one that is right in front of her.
Brilliant. Okay.
She can't auto collect yet.
Fantastic. We love that. I think I had to have used Fair Gold to activate the force field, right? Or does that
yes,
automatic?
You did.
Okay, so
yep,
perfect.
you have
so this
to
balances out, so now I use that and now I'm back at 3. Perfect.
Here's the thing though. You also relinquish control of the fallen that you were controlling. And now, because the door is open, he's heading towards Echo.
Honestly, that's on me, Echo. I apologize. Still figuring this out.
I feel like I also owe you an apology. I left that bitch open.
This one is still dealing with a little bit of the residuals of your hacking. And as he goes to make a slash, for just a second, he falters just long enough for his slash to miss. We have one fallen that is in the tavern, and we have one more outside. Vestion, what you doing?
Kai, are we still back to back at this point? Like, still?
Yeah,
all right.
100%, yeah.
So I feel like I want to coordinate with you and see if like maybe you'll head on inside and try to go help and protect Echo while I'm out here trying to get this last fallen outside. I don't know.
Was also thinking That's what I was gonna say. I think we
double
do
team
like a
last one,
Persona style team attack
Yeah, I
and
like
just
that.
kill the remaining last ones.
I like that.
Roll them bones for me.
So I got 4 of them. There's 6, 4, 5, and 3.
Is this also Gear Blast?
Yes.
Beautiful. As you let this shot out, this time Lila sort of looks at you and is like, I'm gonna like you. And with this, you have a -1 in God Debt, which means you can beseech your god one time for free.
Ooh.
You obliterate this remaining fallen outside.
Amazing.
And moving on to Echo. What are you doing, Bad?
So after the voice, he uses his voice the first time. When he's using it, his eyes glow yellow. As that color fades, the tattoos on the back of his hands and arms get just a little bit lighter. But he's looking at the one that's approaching, and he's like, And so I'm going to use Magical Death Touch.
Please tell the people what this looks like.
So he holds out his hand, and on the tips of each fingers, a small blue flame lights. He takes his hand and basically jams it into their abdomen and twists.
And that is based off of your charisma.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
We love anything based on charisma around here. 2266.
You reach into him, and this flame on your hand ignites. His entire body is engulfed in flames. And the only thing remaining is a coin in your hand with a name inscribed on it. Eviscerate. It's a username.
I'll just pocket that for the time being.
Oh, hell no. Okay.
I mean, have you said out loud that it's for that you use it mechanically?
I have not, but I have no response to that. I'm still clocking it. And Queon, I just want to double check one thing because I feel like I'm supposed to the Neos. I'm supposed to have like an inbuilt compulsion for those coins, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Always do whatever. Okay, good.
You don't have to do everything to get it, but if you see them, you are inclined to want them.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. So yes, and with the immolation of this last fallen, we are out of initiative. What are you all doing?
Hex blows the tips of their gun to smoke, pockets them, and goes straight inside and knocks on the hatch that leads to their apartment. And they're like, "It's all clear."
Are you sure, baby? You got it all? You got them?
Yeah, we got them all. Do you know what those were?
I don't know what's going on. We're gonna have to call the guard and have to figure something out. Because most importantly, monsters are not supposed to make it inside the city. There's no reason why they should be here, especially at my tavern. And then she taps her cane on the floor, and everybody else starts to come back up as well.
Those weren't monsters. Those were people.
People look like you and everybody in here. Those weren't like us.
It's just a theory, but I believe something happened to them that made them like that.
I don't like that at all. Well, I keep my word. Now, why is there a gun hole in my window? Did you do that, Hex?
Hex pulls their coat together to cover their guns. They're like, "I didn't do that. I don't know who did that." These two have guns. Pointing at Vestion with the fucking Skeeter combined to their arm, and then
on cue, Vestion, all of a sudden you hear Skeeter beep beep, and then just balls right back up into little self, goes up on Vestion's shoulder. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have a gun.
They're like, shit.
Mm.
Wraith also has a gun, a big one, in fact.
At
Do I get that free
point,
rent?
You're gonna see Wraith, like, he takes the gun and kind of like lifts it up with his hands, and the gun compartmentalizes into this little ball. And you know how, like, when you turn off like a CRT, how it kind of zip to and then would fade out? It does that, and you see it kind of like fade out of existence. And I think having seen certain looks between certain members of this party and other certain members of this party, and having like clocked that, I'm thinking like the exhaustedness after having just like done a little scotch of murder, a little bit of like, you know, serial murder,
A little appetizer of murder, if you will.
It was diet murder, sugar-free murder. They were already gone, and that's what we're gonna tell ourselves. But yeah, I think that like there is again this real moment of reconciling with like the power felt, and going from being a normal like human fucking author to now this kind of like technologically impressive agent of like death that he has become in this like the sharpshooter. And again, I think it's one of those moments where like this new reality is not something he has come to accept, but there's something in that what just happened that I think is going to shape how he views like the experiences going forward. Having to take those lives, I think, was and so I think that Wraith turns to Vestion kind of exhausted and is like, that was a lot. You are impressive. You got a lot more going on than I guess I expected. It seems like you got some divinity going on.
Yeah, honestly, it feels so natural kind of sliding into my Paragon and being this person. I mean, I'd already played this character, but really being it is something else. But you've got some moves yourself. That was impressive to watch, actually.
You are telling me. I feel like a lot of this feels strangely like autopilot, but I gotta, and you'll see Wraith kind of like lean in on this. I think at one point, and we don't have to do this now because I don't know that I have like the capacity to process this, but we should probably unpack the reality of whatever those things we just killed were, because those were clearly not mobs. Those were not monsters that were meant to kill in some quest. Those seem like people like us who got trapped here, but then who got then trapped in a much more dangerous and devastating way. And so at some point we gotta like deal with that. But in the mean and in between, did you clock how Altair was looking at this?
You mean with the little Cupid heart bullets and everything? Because I definitely peeped that.
Look.
You think they're gonna, figure everything out again? Or maybe we need to put a couple moves to help make that happen?
Oh, I don't know about that. I say
Wraith is a real one. I just gotta say that.
I say we organically like what plays out, but I don't know.
Yeah.
My instinct is right now that like we already are kind of at capacity with reality shattering revelations every like 24 hours, and I don't know that like having to navigate their whole thing in the midst of this does not seem like so. Yeah,
I think we could definitely focus on the Fallen for now. I think that's a little bit more important, though. The tea is very spicy, and I'm here for it. But it's okay. We can just keep observing, seeing what goes on.
Yeah, I just need you to not be the Sebastian from The Little Mermaid when I'm not looking. I need that to be a reality.
I will make no promises.
Okay.
And at this moment, Hex come over and clap, like while y'all are like huddled together, like clap both of y'all on the shoulder, kind of pull apart, like, "Hi, so group conference here. What the fuck was that? What are these things? How do we not become that?"
Is that a possibility?
I didn't even weigh that. I didn't think of that. Hold on, where's Echo?
He was still like at the door, so like he's just walking over. He's approaching.
How you feeling right now, Echo?
Powerful.
I like that.
Yeah.
Me, Bluu, don't like that.
Auntie Tamise is coming over with your round of drinks. Somehow she knows exactly what each of you want, and she just places it on the table nearest to you all, and it says, "I keep my promises."
Can I ask what everybody's character, what their order with Auntie Tamisa's? What's your usual?
Echo absolutely has a Scotch neat.
That's a good
Lawyer
one.
special right there.
Definitely a gin and tonic for Vestion.
Oh, that's cute. I like that. Very classic. It's a fucking drink called, fuck, I had it in Vegas. It's called like Flaming Lamborghini, and it's like a shot of like blue, whatever the fuck, Irish
Curacao.
cream.
Yeah.
That, and it's like on fire.
I'm trying to think. I think that like because Kai is a true crime girly at core, I am kind of contractually obligated to say some form of wine here, and so I'm gonna say Chardonnay is the.
And then she goes around, passes out like a rum and coke, a liquid marijuana to somebody, and a glass of tea. Well, a cup of tea to this lavender suited person.
Nah, we gotta talk lavender, bro. Hold on, I'm taking my drink.
Yeah, we
over
all
to Mr.
Let's
T,
roll deep.
putting my cup down next to him.
like it circumvents anything we all collectively are like, what the fuck? Enough to like, we'll table what we got and we'll like get to that. When we get to like what we need to talk about. Like, let's all confront him.
Are you saying anything as you walk up, or are you waiting until you are here to each other or to him? And I would also like to know like the walking order.
I don't even know they behind me. I'm walking over, putting my glass down on the table and sitting next to him and crossing one leg over the other.
Hex will take a seat at the bar. Cool. They'll take a seat at the bar, but like closest to wherever like the table is at.
I'm gonna say that like Wraith cheers with Hex like at the bar and takes like a big ass, like again, Olivia Pope, like it's like a 5 seconds of uninterrupted, like just slamming this glass of wine. And then he is gonna go into like the booth that Echo is sitting on, but he's gonna sit on top of the booth, like and next as he sits across from this guy, and he's gonna smash the rest of the wine as he makes like suspicious eye contact with this guy.
Vestion is walking up to the booth where the lavender shirted gentleman or whatever is behind Echo.
It's a suit. It's just a suit.
Okay, a suit. Okay, well, it's he's suspicious. Okay, so I'm gonna
He's
walk
bitch
up.
made, and we all know.
Thanks. So Vestion's gonna walk up behind Echo and kind of stand over this guy with the lavender suit, take a big swig of their drink, just be like, "So, enjoyed the show?"
Sips his tea to the point where it's like you really can't see any features, and then takes it down, puts it on the table. Wraith, describe Joshua.
Joshua Jackson is about, I want to say he's taller. He's about like 6'1". He has pretty solid facial hair. He's got higher cheekbones. He is chocolate complected. He has one of those like just like I want to call it like an effortless smile. It's like not only is it contagious, but it has this like easiness to it. This kind of like the kind of smile that like allows you to relax a little bit around like somebody. He is very, very like clean cut. Everything is like lined up. Um, and he has a tattoo of and he's never really explained like if there is a story behind it. I think that Kai has asked, but has never gotten like any kind of detailed answer outside of something that is like kind of dismissive of some kind of either like family crest or symbol that goes on his shoulder. He wanted to get a tattoo, but he also wanted to be able to cover it up if he ever needed to corporate it up, and so he has a tattoo here on his shoulder, which is his only tattoo.
You see this person place their glass down. You are staring. Same grin that you're used to. Same tattoo, same everything. About time you guys showed up. Good job out there, by the way.
Do we all know Joshua or just
Hex knows Joshua, and I think mid-drink they hear Joshua's voice and it fucking falls and crashes to the ground. Quickly, catch on fire. They like stamp it out real quick, but
Auntie Tamise kind of bangs on the counter. Don't burn my place down.
I'm sorry.
We just got this good.
I know. I'm sorry. Absolutely staring at Wraith right now, though. Like,
So I'm gonna say Echo doesn't know Joshua. So these reactions are escaping him, but he's just like, there's something to say for someone who can be unbothered in a state of crisis. And he just takes a sip of his drink.
The problem that I see with your logic there, a crisis is different for each person. You saw it as a crisis. I did not.
So what did you see?
A task?
You may have something there. And he takes another sip.
I think that like the unmitigated chaos at everything that they just went through, like he knew that this person was in the periphery but didn't really like interact with them before, and had heard like Hex going up, and so he never thought to like look at them, especially with the dealing with the fallen for the first time and then learning a little bit more about like what Joshua's character is capable of. I think that his heart stops for a moment. There is this like instant and immediate kind of spike in like body temperature, not truly and really because they're in VR, but just more that kind of white hot, just immediate kind of pulse you get from anxiety, or from there is something about the unexpected nature of this Joshua jump scare, this emotional Joshua jump scare, that catches his breath in his throat. And I think that like he listens to the exchange between Echo and this either facsimile of Joshua or Joshua. It's almost like there's this ringing that gets louder, and the actual contents of their conversation start to get quieter and quieter. And at the conclusion of what Echo just said to this version of Joshua, you see Wraith stand up, and he looks to this version. I'm gonna do Joshua with verbal air quotes. And you see him like just deeply examining. He's going over every meticulous detail of this person. I think that there is a surrealism to seeing just Joshua in Ouroboros Online, when each of us are these like kind of fantastical, like deadly characters. Just seeing like fucking Joshua there, I think is also like unsettling in that regard. And he tells Joshua, he looks to him, or again Joshua, and looks to him and says, "Stand up."
Kai, why do you want me to stand up?
Stand up.
Fine. And he stands.
Wraith slowly close the distance between him and Joshua, and he gets right in Joshua's face, and he is looking and trying to find any spark of like familiarity. Through dealing with the fallen, he has seen that like even when you get corrupted or get whatever has happened to them in this game, like even in your most debilitated state, there's still some part of the humanity or the person that appears to be part of our characters or the code. There's this like wordless moment where he is just searching the eyes of Joshua, just looking for and trying to see if there's any like spark of that connection. He feels like he should know.
Roll me a wisdom pool. I'll give you advantage on this, so add an extra die because you know Joshua very well.
That is a 5 and 2 1s.
Okay. So, as you are looking at this person who you are questioning to be Joshua, with these thoughts running and like sprinting through your mind, very simply, I've missed you.
Wait, so this is the guy from that you were just talking about?
I think without a word, you see not Wraith, but Kai close the gap, and he is going to grab both sides of Joshua's face, and they kiss.
He returns the kiss very passionately.
Guess that's the guy.
This is the exact same way you feel in the real world. The same comfort, the same warmth, the same presence of love. This is what you know. And he breaks the kiss and just looks at you. It's weird kissing my avatar. But I know it's you.
I literally think that Kai he is just focused on like breathing and remaining like just not fainting, like losing consciousness in this moment. I think there's this brief moment where he leans his forehead against the forehead of Joshua's, and he kind of just like takes a deep breath. He sneaks like another quick kiss, realizes that all of this has happened in front of like everybody and that there's an audience for this, and it's suddenly
Auntie Samise is just like, you need another drink, baby? Or
Hex shoots their gun into the air, and it's like another burst of confetti to like take eyes off of them.
So Echo is gonna put his cup down like just a little loudly enough that's like to notice. This is all very touching, and he's gonna stand up to look at the scene that just took place and not see a crisis. Would suggest that you know something that we don't know.
oh, I know far more.
Then how about we put this reunion on pause and catch the class up?
I think you would see, again, this is Kai, I feel like, in the driver's wheel. He's going to reconcile, I think, all of us will, like dealing with these two kind of like dueling identities. And you see him turn to Atticus, and he is going to be accepting like of this questioning, but he gives him a look that isn't like overtly angry, but I think that communicates like like noted, we've seen that you have done this and that you like have chosen this moment. And granted, like he didn't tell Atticus or Echo about this, and he kind of had an opportunity to, and so Echo doesn't have the context to know that this is like this big kind of swelling reunion, but like there's this brief moment where you see him stare I'm not gonna say daggers, he's gonna stare a singular dagger.
I'll take that dagger. I'll take that dagger right.
You hear from Joshua, he says, you must be Atticus.
That's correct.
Heard a lot about you.
Not so much, unfortunately.
Makes sense, because most of the things I heard about you weren't the greatest.
Yeah, I tend to be the villain in everybody's story. I'm all right with that.
He's not the greatest. Drinking.
You said you have questions. I am all answers. If you want to have a seat.
He
Maybe we should actually
he
go
pulls out a
somewhere more
seat
quiet.
for Joshua and one for Kai as well, and then takes a seat.
He gets back into the booth and starts back to sip his tea. So they weren't sure you would actually show. I knew that this would actually happen, so
Vestion clears their throat and like, who are we talking about exactly?
Oh,
Are you talking about what?
no. And when you say Noah, his face kind of is befuddled. Have you seen Noah since you've been here?
What are you talking about, actually?
No.
Maybe we should go downstairs.
No.
I agree with that. I agree with Hex on that.
Yeah.
Maybe we should not have this conversation.
In the middle of the
Oh.
You see him smile at Auntie.
Oh,
Yeah.
are you you're worried for them to hear? And he snaps his fingers, and everybody else in the bar freezes.
Hex does not like that.
Is this more comfortable?
I gotta say, Kai is like a little turned on by this.
Oh my god! Oh my fucking god! Hex is immediately like, why the fuck would you do that? And then like looks at Kai, and Kai's like, he's like, bitch.
If you were worried about people hearing, then you do not have to worry about them.
Hex is frowning deeply.
Vestion kind of butts in like, all right, so I know we don't really know each other. We haven't exactly met. I'm Vestion. Last I heard about you, you've been missing. So, I mean, it's amazing to see you, and I'm glad that you're reunited, but...
Thank you.
What's
happy to
been
see
going
you as
on,
well.
though?
Vestion like snaps Kai out of, I think, this like dopamine bubble that he has been in, and just like seeing Joshua and like confirming that he's like alive. And I think that there is this overwhelming sense of relief, because to him, even though this is going to be complicated, it doesn't carry like, there's this concept like of ambiguous loss, right? Like when a sailor is lost at sea, or where you don't get that confirmation, or etc. And I think that this group really struggled with that with Noah, the like never knowing of that, and just having any answer about what has happened to Joshua, let alone being able to see and touch and kiss him, I think is like, but from, I think, the high of that, he is now starting to come down and realize he has a chance to get these answers. And so I think like squeezing Joshua's hand, which he's been like holding under the table, he looks at him and is like sincere in his questioning of, where did you...
This is what I have been working towards.
So I just want to glance out the window really quick. And the reason why is because I'm looking to see if it's just the tavern that's frozen, or if the entire world is like not in motion.
You do not see a single person walking outside the world.
Noted.
I went to your apartment. I have been searching for you. Why didn't you tell me
I
that you were leaving?
didn't really have the liberty of speaking on it.
Did you know that all of this, the gestures to the world, was going to happen, that we would be stuck here?
He pauses and takes sort of a look at you. I'm part of the reason why you are all here now.
I'm sorry, what?
Kai lets go of Joshua's hand.
He looks at you, confused at you letting go of his hand. Doesn't reach for it, but goes back to Vestion's question. What part do you need me to explain more? The part that I helped create Ouroboros Online, or the part that I also helped create what kept you here?
The part about keeping us here. And also, why would you even tell someone that you love about this? But are we even able to get out of here? I feel like there's so many questions we have to ask you, and you're not even really answering anything.
As he starts to talk and starts to tell you that, give you the answers that you are asking for, he stops and looks outside of the window. And in that window, there is now a woman about 5'7", 5'6" in height. She is dressed in a beautiful black dress with intricate like beading and patterns, and it is rather tight to her form. She has a large brimmed hat and a black veil that covers her face. She snaps her fingers, and then he comes to her side, leaves the bar. She looks at him, waves a hand, and he vanishes completely. And as time is still held still in this moment, she opens the door and walks in. It's not every day that one of my playthings breaks my rules. However, don't worry, we will remedy that. And this voice is a combination of wispy and ethereal, but also demeaning and demanding. And as she continues to walk into the bar, she stops.
Hex is pointing the gun at her immediately as soon as she walks in. You should bring Joshua back.
No.
Who are you? Where did you take him? What the fuck is going on here?
I just want to help welcome you to Ouroboros. And thank you. Who would have thought that one simple email would get the exact people I want here?
And what do you want with us?
Oh,
There's a purple flash, and we see Kira materialize and is now lower to the ground and growling at this person.
she looks at Kira and looks at Echo. What do I want? How do I put this lightly? First, I want all of you dead. And then I want your memories. And with that, as she says this, and like her voice lowering, and you still cannot like see any recollection of who this is, to Wraith and Vestion, you both feel something different. To Wraith, you feel like Kira is buffering, that all of your powers are trying to load, but they can't. And Vestion, you feel cut off from Lila. And with that, Skeeter also kind of powers down into a ball. Hex, your gun for a split second feels like a toy gun in this moment. It does not feel like it has weight to it. It feels like it is full, pure plastic. And Echo, the next time you try to speak, your voice catches. and nothing leaves your mouth.
So I definitely open my mouth to ask another question. It catches.
Can I do there's something I want to make a big swing.
Go for it.
I want to take a huge, we're talking like
Take a gamble, baby.
Can we make because like I'm also thinking like what are you thinking?
I'll have
Darius,
options
right
here.
I want to ask more questions. She took my damn points. I'm not even trying to fight.
It's not fighting that I want to do, but it is taking a big swing. So Queon has told us that we get a once, I think it is per season. Is it the special access code that we can use, which is something that is finite? We can only use ours each once. And what I would like to do, I think instinctively we see again the mechanical arm of Kai kind of like straighten itself out. And we get that kind of holographic glow again as all of the different like prismatic colors and all the different geometric shapes kind of like fold out into the bracelet. And what I want to do and what Kai, actually I think that this might be Wraith, what Wraith has the like strategy and forthrightness to do in this moment is to use the bracelet to create a connective thread between him and whoever this is, so that there's some kind of like connection moving forward. And I don't want to, it's not going to be something where like they always know where they are, etc. But like seeing this person and like realizing, I think especially after that they took Joshua away, that like, so I want to use my once per season like special access code to create some kind of bond that will be beneficial to the group between me and this mystery woman who is threatening all of our lives.
Okay, I love that. My question: are you looking to use this thread to get information out of her, or are you using it to try and create some influence on her?
This is like informational. This is like going into like essentially, not that this isn't like pound for pound what's happening, but like going into like the code of this person or etc., and like leaving either a tracker or just some kind of something that'll create this connective tissue that will give us more information about this person moving forward. And then like above table, if there are ever anything fun that we can do with the thread between them, like that's fair game. But I do want it to create some kind of advantage for the party, because I am using my like once per season special access code.
As you reach into your own code and begin to search for something to help you in this moment, something to aid everyone, something to get you, in your mind's eye, you see Noah. Noah appears before you in like an ethereal-esque light blue body form, and in your heart he disappears. What memory of Noah do you lose?
Oh my fucking... Oh, you normalize hating your fucking GM. Oh my god. I'm sorry. This is too much. Holy shit.
I think that because of what I'm going to describe, it is kind of too cute. It's too sweet. So much so that I think Kai would tell a different story to other folks about like the actual first interaction between him and Joshua, which is the memory that he is going to lose, which is of the day that he met Joshua at E3. And when they first interacted, They had an actual full-on 90s rom-com style like meet cute, where like I'm gonna say that Joshua was carrying some stuff. He was like putting together some things, wasn't paying attention, and we're gonna have Kai kind of have accidentally bumped into him. He drops the things. This is like every box you could tick in these moments. And I think from then on, like he really became this kind of anomaly. He's like this safe place to land, this one anchor or tether. And so it was an important moment, I think, for him, like the way that they kind of connected like that, because it was something that had no precedent. He had never felt like that or experienced anything like that with anybody before, during, or since that. And he holds the memory in his mind, and there is this like sickening feeling of desperation when you are trying to remember the name of somebody or the actor, and it's like right on the tip of your tongue.
As the synapses in your brain snap, the memory of Joshua meeting them, the first feeling of butterflies, that first feeling of giddiness is gone. You are left with a very minute thing, a very small string, threads from your pinky to hers. And as that thread grasps onto her, you are overwhelmed with information. A lot of it is unusable. A lot of it is just jargon. A lot of it is just a jumble of codes and words and ideas and thoughts. But the very last thing you are left with is a name. Her name. The person who stands before you. And as you figure out this woman's name, you can see beyond her veil. The person you are looking at, the person in front of you, is Amaya Sinclair, Noah's mom.
Thank you for listening to World Replica, a RPG actual play produced by BaddieBards. Leave us a comment, rate us, and toss a coin in our Ko-fi. See you next time, players. Logging off.